Last time we left off with y'all making it to the beach after a pretty nasty run-in with some forest goblins who weren't super thrilled at your invasion of getting too close to one of their sacred sites, but you managed to defeat them and scatter them off and even killed their, from what you could tell, last remaining idol. So after you killed them, two of you grabbed what loot you had found thus far and made it back to the beach, while the other two pressed onwards and discovered a group of orcs and goblins further, pretty much in the center of the island, who seem to also have come here at least somewhat recently and don't seem to be friends of the native forest goblins. That being said, you decided to avoid them and head back to the beach, and basically, nightfall is a-coming, and that's where we will be starting.
I thought we left off with us rowing back to the boat, I thought.
Well,
the boat is not...
In the morning.
Too bad, that got retconned.
Okay, so I have all my fortune points back. Yay.
It is...
It is dusk. You have not gone to sleep yet.
Okay.
That's true.
Okay.
Alright, so you're finding sunset approaching. The ship that promised to appear at dawn is nowhere to be seen, but it's also not dawn yet. And yeah, nightfall's, what, 45 minutes away at this point? 30 minutes?
Yep.
Margal will crunch loudly on his uncooked spider, glaring at Zelene, and all those who said they can't make fires.
Glare at me all you want, Margal. I don't want any
do y'all
more.
have a fire?
No. I forbade a fire.
And Margal can't make fires. They are hard and complex things. Margal will just continue to glower and eat his food.
Morning naps.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna do, since we're not rolling back to the boat, like I thought we were.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought at the beginning of last session we said that the boat was,
No,
Well, we
returned.
made it
entirety
to
of the night.
yeah,
And then
we made it till dawn.
Times have changed! Get over it!
Yeah. Okay, whatever, Sotek. So I guess Zelene will take the first watch during the night.
so same as last time, I guess.
Yeah.
Tordain gets second watch.
Alright, so you're just sleeping on the bare earth.
Yeah.
Okay.
With my back pressed up against the rocks.
Okay.
Actually, I will go over and clamber onto this rock over here, and I will keep watch from there.
The first watch passes without event. It's now, what, 11? Something like that.
Just like last time, you do hear these sounds of... You do hear very loud noises coming from the jungle. The orcs and presumably goblins are not trying very hard to hide their presence, as y'all are well aware, with them banging on war drums and just causing as loud of a ruckus as they possibly can, seeming to try and attract things to them. But it is clear that they are starting to move in different directions.
Everybody who slept through first watch regain one fortune point.
Okay.
All right, Zelene, you are the only one awake. Would you like to do anything?
What? So the sounds with the orc encampment's coming from multiple directions now? Is that what you said?
It's split off into different groups. Like, you can hear orcs yelling and stuff, but they seem to be scattering.
Are they doing their traditional wah?
Yes.
Are any of them getting close?
A few of them. Sounds like they might be heading vaguely in your direction. Whether or not they'll come all the way here is not certain.
Okay. Let me check something.
Well, that was disgusting. Oh my god.
What?
I thought this was a cheese pizza. I took a big old bite out of it, and it's got, like, pineapple and other shit in it.
Blah.
Unpleasant.
You have pineapple instead of cheese?
No, it also has cheese. I just didn't see the pineapple that's very cleverly hidden on top of the cheese.
Well, my pizza day is on Monday. How did you manage to get a pineapple pizza without realizing it was a pineapple pizza?
Because I just grabbed it out of the leftover bin.
Who in your family is misguided enough to put pineapple on pizza?
Probably my fucking parents. Anyway.
Is there any higher vantage points that I can see or that I had seen during the daylight hours that I can go to kind of perceive a little bit better?
I mean, you can climb any of the trees. You didn't really see like a natural rock or incline other than the center of the island itself, but that would imply you needing to go to the center.
Yeah.
Did you fancy climbing the mast on the ship?
I can't climb, but Tordain can. So it'll be his watch next. So I'll tell him what I want him to do, and then I'll go to sleep.
All right, tell him what you want him to do then.
All right, so I'll go over and I'll nudge Tordain awake, and say,
Do I hear the whine as I wake up?
I will say the orcs seem to be dispersing throughout the island, and a few of them seem to be coming in this general direction, as the one that's always scaling the mast. I would ask that you go and perhaps scale a tree or some vantage point so you can maybe get a little bit more information.
Zelene, you are aware that a tree and a mast, while both made of wood, are not the same thing when it comes to climbing. One
you are the closest tree climber we have, my friend.
Fair enough. Which tree is the tallest that would give me the best vantage point?
Yeah, I was about to click the same thing.
Okay, I go and climb it with my kit.
With a climbing kit, you can make it.
Okay.
It's not a hard tree to climb.
I climb it and look around into what's presumably the darkness. And I guess roll a perception check.
Okay.
Nope. I will... How secure am I up in this tree?
Define secure.
Like, am I in any immediate danger of falling? Like, can I get comfortable in this tree?
I don't think comfortable is the right word. You could find a branch that's strong enough for you to sit on. I wouldn't rest.
No, I meant I was going to keep my watch from up in the tree.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll do that. And I will keep my ear out for the telltale wah sounds. I also have my bow somewhat at the ready.
All right. As the evening continues on, you do hear the occasional group of like beating drums and orcs yelling "Wah" head in your direction, but then occasionally they'll veer off and hit some other direction. And you begin to grow increasingly nervous because the problem with the orcs as they're going through the jungle is that they don't seem to have any particular plan about how they're sweeping through the jungle. They're just sort of randomly taking paths as they find them, to the best of your knowledge from how erratic they seem to be moving. So the likelihood of them suddenly taking a sharp turn and finding you guys is very high, unless, of course, they just don't happen to find a path that leads them to this part of the island, in which case they'll never find you. So It's really just a question of random chance. They don't seem to be organized in how they're looking for things.
Okay, can I, like, do a Border Prince common knowledge check to see if this makes me think they have, like, no real leadership, or...
Sure. You can roll a common knowledge board check. I'll allow that. Alright, based on your encounters with orcs in the Border Princes, which is not an insignificant number, the fact that the orcs are just sort of wandering certainly seems to wreak more of boredom than any direct mission or issue given by the boss. Now,
and I'm not hearing like fighting or anything, so it's not like there's anything drawing them to something.
No, if there is fighting, quite frankly, it would probably be moderately indistinguishable from what they're doing now.
Fair enough.
It could be they're running into things to fight, or maybe they're chasing something, but it's really hard to tell because they don't really seem to... They probably would make very similar noises.
Right.
As they seem to just be amping themselves up for anything. Or maybe they found something.
That's also the same noise they make when they play chess.
Now, whether they know something on the island that y'all don't, and they're pursuing it, is a question. And if they have a boss, he's definitely not a very organized one. Which, based on your experience with 2 degrees of success, I would say if they have a boss, it's much more likely to be an orc and not one of the big scary ones. It's probably much more of like... I mean, he'll be bigger than the others, but it's probably more of a common orc.
Not the big, scary, dark green ones in actual full armor.
Yeah. It doesn't seem to be any particular... It's definitely not a goblin boss, because a goblin boss probably wouldn't let his guys run around like this.
Right.
So whoever it is, they're not... Either they're an idiot, which is a distinct possibility, or their boss is somewhere else.
Gotcha. I don't have any idea of numbers from what I'm hearing, and take it.
No. Nothing that... The only person who would have any best idea of numbers would be Zeline.
Okay. I just keep watch with my bow at the ready.
Alright, your watch continues in much the same manner. You continue to hear crashing, getting closer and then further away, and then interspersed with odd noises. You reach 2 a.m. without significant event.
I get down off the tree and then go wake Alyssa.
What?
Your watch. And then I lean up against the rock and go to bed. I guess I'd probably also tell her that there are orcs about.
Doesn't take a great detective to discover that, but yeah.
Yeah. Thought I should do the courtesy, though.
I'll sit on my rock and watch.
Are we giving them, if they have the ability to regain a fortune point, or are we just giving them a fortune point for every watch cycle they spend asleep?
Yes, a second watch cycle also restores a fortune point to all who are sleeping.
Okay. Alright, Alyssa, as you take over the watch, you can't help but note that a lot of the groups of orcs are starting to grow quieter, as if the hours they've spent running around slamming on drums, yelling constantly, has either begun to lose its allure, or maybe they're growing tired, or something else is going on. But the orcs are getting much quieter across the jungle. They still sound like they're moving, but they're not making nearly as much obnoxious noise as they were earlier, and it's becoming much, much more difficult to tell exactly where they are.
I drop down from the rock and crouch in the sand.
Okay.
I'll pick my shield up and strap it to my arm.
All right. As you're sitting there, you catch the glint of light coming from the jungle. You're not 100% sure or confident that it's heading your direction, but you are 100% sure that the orcs are now close enough, or at least a group of them is close enough, that you can literally see the torches they're using for light through the trees.
This is about an hour and a half into your watch.
Are there any pebbles nearby me?
Pebbles? Sure, plenty.
Great, let's start throwing them at the sleeping party members.
Roll
The idea is, of course, to wake people up.
roll a ballistic skill check.
I
3
mean,
of them.
I feel like he has plenty of attempts and is pretty close by.
Fair
I
enough.
feel like I don't necessarily need to hit any of these people. I just need
Uh,
to be somewhere close to them.
Okay, so the 3 party members, each of you is slowly but surely roused from your sleep by a slow, not terribly slow barrage of pebbles either hitting you or hitting the rock wall behind you.
I draw my bow and point the arrow at the person throwing rocks.
Do that again and I'll cut your fingers off. The orcs are close.
I listen for the orcs.
They're not making a lot of noise, but even you 3 from where you're sitting can see the fire coming through the trees.
Perhaps we move a little bit further up the beach over to here and maybe wait.
We said we stashed the boat away, so it's not actually like right here. So where is it? Sotek?
I do not recall a mention of boat stashing.
Well, you said that it's assumed that we hid the boat and it's not just lying out in the open.
I don't know. Where'd y'all put it then?
End of last session. You said we stashed it.
Cool. I don't have those god powers. Where'd you stash it?
There would be the most likely spot, because I said I covered it with the bushes branches that I ripped up earlier. Though I was never told whether or not I could actually lift the boat enough to get it there.
You probably can.
Yeah, you're fine. Y'all haven't put much in there.
I mean, you might have to make 2 trips. Also, you've made it far enough through the night that those who are not critically injured may regain 1 wound as well.
Yay!
But I will turn to my companions and say, want to move further up the beach and perhaps try and hope that they'll pass us by.
I'd rather not leave the boat unattended.
Margot, go guard food.
And I'd rather keep my head.
Rather lead the boat than the ogre.
All right.
How tall is this little cliff thing?
It's a good, like, I don't know, probably like, by that point, it's probably in the 5 to 6 foot category.
Okay, so I can like climb up it without...
Eminently climbable.
Yeah. I will get up and hide in the bushes.
Alright, roll a... There's a way to roll so just the GM sees it, right?
Yeah, whenever they click on it, it'll ask what kind of roll they want. The GM rolls for us only.
Alright, do a GM concealment check.
There you go.
Alright, are you able to see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
No, Tordain, are you able
Nope.
to see that? Okay, cool.
All right. Y'all hear quite a bit of noise coming from this particular direction, and you see a series of torches coming down the path.
Which path?
The path that I keep pinging.
We can't see your bits.
All right, I'm on the wrong layer. This path.
Oh, okay.
Margal will move up to the boat if he can.
I guess Tordain will hold out a hand to help Zelene up the little cliff.
Alright, around this point, because they have torches, y'all are easily able to see them at a distance. You see 4 figures sort of come trudging down the path, and they, for what you could tell, as far as orcs and goblins go, they do appear to have all the look of people who are irritated and sort of have lost their sense of excitement, at least for a day. But when they get down to the beach, they all sort of look around for a moment and speak to one another, but of course none of y'all understand their tongue, so you can't hear them even though they're shout. You can hear them fine because they're shouting, but you can't understand them. And then they begin to head onto the beach.
Zelene, are you just standing in the middle of the beach? Cold?
You might be on it now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him for a second.
There is my ogre stealth.
We should give you grey paint so you can blend in with the rocks.
I think I have selectively chosen the smallest tree to hide behind.
That's not a tree.
Nice.
That's a bush.
It's a jungle. The bush can be considered a tree.
I asked that last time and I was told, no, that's a bush.
Well, thankfully, it's up to me and not y'all what is and is not a bush.
Standardize yourself.
Nope.
Remember, the GMs in a campaign are basically God. Anything can be retconned at any given moment.
Y'all wait for Colt to get back.
Pretty much.
Alright, I'm back. I'm sorry about that.
Move yourself off the beach.
It's all good.
Alright.
2 goblins and 2 orcs have wandered onto the beach, and they're carrying torches.
Oh, I would have gone up with them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't realize you had left yet because you didn't say anything.
I messaged Jacob. So up here, what's the foliage like up here, Sotek?
It's not that thick. Some of a lot of the trees out at this part are rather large, but they seem to have choked out most of their competition. There's very little undergrowth until you go further in. it's not a lot of great places to hide.
Is there any fallen debris?
There's a couple of, like, fallen over branches and stuff. There isn't anything notably huge.
Well, I'm not a very big person, so I will find the biggest branch and I will hide beneath it.
Okay.
Wherever that is.
I'll put you there.
Okay.
You can roll a secret or a GM roll concealment check. You'll believe you're hiding, but whether you're actually hiding, only me and Jacob will know. Izzy, what did you do?
I'm just sort of here in the shadow of
damn
this
it.
tree.
I didn't mean to do that.
It's fine. You can keep it, but it's
My mouse has been acting up, so it double clicks all the time.
oh,
and-
I had that problem, and I got super angry and then bought a $50 mouse to fix it.
Yeah, I'm so pissed with this mouse right now.
Anywho, yeah,
That's all right. We'll allow it.
we will allow a 1 to count.
The
You're-
just vanishes off the face of the planet.
You're pretty well hidden. The rest of the party, like, saw you go onto the branch, and they expected to see you come back out, and you never did. And it's questionable whether or not you're actually hiding, or if you accidentally found a portal to the Fae.
You're clinging to the underside of a leaf.
Alyssa, what are you doing?
I'm just here in the shadow of the tree, trying to sort of keep most of myself behind the trunk.
Okay, are you trying to conceal yourself, or are you just kind of hanging out?
More that I'm trying to physically put the tree in front of me as best as possible.
Okay, I'm going to count that as concealment, so roll a GM roll.
Cool. Do I have to do concealment if I'm behind a wall?
That depends on how big the wall is.
It will also matter if things approach you from a different angle or whatever.
How do I do this?
You go to your character sheet, and
Oh, I
here-
remember.
yeah,
Thank you.
you just tell it to roll like normal, and it'll ask you what kind of roll, and you tell it a GM roll.
Yeah, I was like, well, that worked.
In the meantime, the Greenskins have started moving y'all's direction. They do stop for the occasional thing. Like, they stop at this box here, and the goblins look inside it and speak to each other. But then the orc comes over and just immediately proceeds to, like, smash the box with his choppa as hard as he can and just breaks it apart. And he laughs about something, but the goblins seem to not find it nearly as amusing as he does. And move on. And these four do appear that they've been wandering for quite a bit and are probably extremely bored. They do wander over, and the goblins then proceed to smash up this particular barrel, almost an imitation of the orc, but the orc starts laughing and says something at them. But this one continues just sort of going, and he yells something at the other two, and they sort of spread out looking around the beach for anything interesting.
I keep my bow trained on, I guess, this orc.
I
Okay.
did the roll thing, but I don't know if it worked.
It worked.
Cool.
Fal, you said you're up the tree, right? Or are you on
Yeah.
the rocks?
Huh?
Are you on the cliff, or are you in the tree?
In the tree.
Okay, so Fal's in a tree, Alyssa's behind a tree, Margot's behind a tree, and Izzy vanished. Or, not Izzy, Colt.
So,
Alright. Okay, so, as they get close enough, to roll,
Real
we'll see
quick,
what happens.
Sotek sent a quick message over the Roll20.
There is?
Did you see it? Margal mentioned it.
Oh, that's right. Margal. Hold on, I'll message Ben.
How armored are these orcs?
Not supremely well. They've got leather bits and pieces here and there. Their chests seem more heavily armored than anything else.
Okay.
Send you a message, Ben.
Yes, I did. That's easier than typing.
Okay. So as the goblins are wandering around, they finally come roughly to where you guys were sleeping, and one of them exclaims something very loudly. And pretty much all of them, all of the Greenskins come over to look at it.
It's the spider, isn't it?
No, it's a dead goblin.
Oh, shit.
That being said, it's not one of theirs, it's one of the forest goblins. So, they don't seem too choked up about it. In fact, one of the orcs leans down and proceeds to rip off one of its limbs and starts chewing on it.
Oh no. Margal, no.
The four of them do look around fairly suspicious.
No. That was he wants to do it now.
Willpower.
No, he's a smart ogre. He will restrain himself until they get close enough.
The four of them do look around extremely suspicious, and one of the orc that's chewing on the goblin leg, who seems to be in charge of this little group of them, gestures for them to... He sort of gestures around the area, and the goblins and the orcs start looking a little bit more closely around the spot where you guys were sleeping.
Which orc is the one that seems to be in charge?
This one.
Okay, I shift my aim to him.
He heads further back up towards this direction. Now it's time for me to roll some checks.
Does he see the ogre hiding behind the bush? Cold, I cannot hear you from that far away.
Yeah, I'm whispering more to myself.
Oh, okay. Like, I'm 20 feet away up in a tree, okay?
Alright, let's see. Okay, they do have perception, so... Alright, this orc, he walks right past you, Margle. He doesn't seem to notice you.
Does he walk within swinging distance?
Yeah. Are you going to swing at him?
Yeah, I swing at him. I will full attack him.
Okay. You get surprise, which is going to give you a pretty notable buff to hit, because he doesn't know you're there.
What should I do so that it rolls damage if I make it?
You just do it based... So, on your character sheet... What are you swinging at him? The poorly carved branch?
Poorly carved branch.
Yeah, you just roll attack, and it'll do it for you.
No, I meant because if I don't put in the modifier, if it fails, it won't roll damage.
It's plus 20 to hit a surprised enemy. Nine. Hold on. Right arm, body, head.
You fucking clobber it.
I don't know if that actually killed him. Hold on.
I mean, If Marvel didn't, I'm shooting him, so...
See, Margol hit him in the right arm for 9.
My head for 12.
Minus 5 is 4, which puts him down to 8. And
I'm
you hit
pretty
him for
sure your
9,
angle has you
right in
shooting
the body.
directly through Margol if you're gonna
True.
shoot this guy.
You hit him
I
in
guess
the
I would have
body,
shipped my aim then.
which is minus 7, so that'd be 2 for 6. And then you did 12 to his head. Which his head is a 5. Oh, okay. Yeah. Alright, so you just come out of nowhere as far as he's concerned. Like, he just gets hit in the arm, which spins him around. He looks up, and you slam your branch into his body, which knocks him onto the ground. And then, just roaring with anger, you bring the branch over your head and slam it down onto his head, which is just flattened underneath the force of the blow. And he, like, his body, like, twitches and spasms from death. But that's about all the time he had to react. The other 3 do notice the very large sound and commotion, and each of them come running over to see what the hell was that, because that was a very loud sound. And Margot, they see you.
They also did you roll perception checks for the goblins, Ryan?
I can real
open
quick.
fire? Because I've been aiming at them the whole time.
Yeah, you can just set.
Yeah, just a sec.
One of the goblins rolled very high.
That one sees Alyssa as well.
Okay. Alright, so they have spotted the 2 of you, Alyssa and Margot. They don't know about the other 2 yet. Fal, if you'd like, now's a time you could shoot one of them.
I will shoot the goblin furthest away.
Okay.
8 to his leg.
Oh, excuse me, Chad. 8 to his leg, okay?
And roll initiative, I take it.
Yes, roll initiative.
Cold's name, Zeline. Once you decide to reveal yourself, you'll get a free round, and then you can roll initiative.
Yes, due to your super spookiness.
Okay.
Alright, and I will roll initiative for them.
I don't suppose I pinned the goblin's foot to the ground.
Nope.
No,
Then again, it's hands, so that wouldn't really work anyways.
it wouldn't work anyways.
Here's the part where I temporarily feel good about my agility, and then Cole makes me feel bad again.
Maybe if you rolled a 1 to hit. And it weren't on sand.
This is a 33.
Nope, you rolled faster.
Yeah! For once, I'm faster than Zeline. Really need to up my agility.
Alright, Tordain, you're up.
I reload and fire at the goblin again.
Okay. Yeah, that shot just takes him in the arm, and the amount of blood loss he's already suffered from the gash in his leg, he just goes down and very quickly bleeds out, because you just managed to nail his artery. Celine! You can stay hidden or pop up, and it's up to you.
I stay hidden.
Okay, Margol.
Margal will delay twice.
You can only delay once.
Okay. Margal will glare at them and shout, "No eat Margal's food." I will attempt to intimidate them.
Okay. Roll intimidation check.
And then I will delay.
The goblin. Well, I'll tell you what happens during their turn. The goblin seems very strongly affected by this. If you were close enough to him, you would probably smell a foul odor. The orc does not seem terribly impressed. Alyssa, you're up.
Wait, it's not their turn. Never mind.
I guess I moved up to about here.
Okay. Anything else? Yes, no, maybe so.
No.
Okay. The orc's turn. On his turn,
Fear check?
he... oh yeah, you're frightening, aren't you?
Yep.
Oh, he's fine. He doesn't care. The orc has... you notice this on all the orcs. The two you've come across. Has some sort of weird, probably goblin skin looking drum hanging from his side. And he lets out a loud "Whoa!" and just starts beating on it as hard as he can. He's going to spend his whole turn doing that. The goblin, he runs away as fast as his little goblin feet will carry him. What did I tell you? Move running was times 4.
3.
Times 3. Okay.
Margot will use his delay to walk up in front of the orc.
Kentucky. Goblin. Movement. Okay.
I was under the impression that in fact you did say times 4, and charge was times 3.
Then what was times? I think that's right. I think run is times 4. Combat move is times 2, and then charging is times 3. I think that's right. Should probably write this down.
Okay, yeah. Run times 4.
So he's gonna go. Oh gosh, I have to do math. So if he runs times 4.
Can he run if he's afraid?
Well, he passed his fear check, but he lost the intimidation.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
How many yards?
16. Let's go. Hold on, I got it. 48.
Okay.
So he's gonna go right about there. Woo. All right, Tordain, you're up.
I reload and shoot the goblin because he's still within short range.
Okay.
Nope.
Nope.
Margot didn't
Whizzes by.
charge.
No, he was way too close, and he only had a half action.
Oh.
Celine, you're up.
No, I'm gonna stay hidden.
Margot, you're up.
How does grappling work again?
You rolled a hit, and if you hit him, then you roll a opposing check, and if you win, you grapple him.
Close strength, I believe.
Alright, I will attempt to grapple him.
That's a hit. A bowstring.
Let's see, grappling. No, first the orc makes an agility check,
Okay.
which he
I'm
fails
fine
horribly.
with that strength.
He fails his agility check, so he's grappled.
Right, and then he has to do
Okay.
oppose to break free.
Yeah. All right. So you manage to grapple him. You grab him and pin him against you, and he stops thumping his drum for a minute. Alyssa, you're up.
He's thumping against your belly trying to get free, which is actually almost as loud.
No, there's a gut plate there, so he's just hitting the shield.
Does he happen to count as helpless if he's grappled?
No, but he does give a plus 20% chance to being hit.
On top of surround?
No. I'm gonna say no to the surround, but yes to the plus 20.
But if you're charging, you can get charge bonus because that's fine.
Yeah. You cap at 30% anyway.
Cool. Well, he's close enough, so I may as well charge.
Take a very easy agility check to charge over the little cliff.
You can charge the other way.
I mean, Charge the other
Oh,
way.
can you charge around? Okay, sure.
Right, roll it.
You want me to throw from the weapon, don't you?
Yes. So you go to the weapons page, and that's where you roll the attack from. And when it asks for a modifier, you'll hit plus 30. Or just type 30. You don't have to hit plus. Not quite. Alright.
It's very dark.
Well, plus they're struggling. It's the orc's turn. He's going to roll an opposed strength check against you, Margol. He fails.
You were
You don't even
trying
need to roll.
a little harder than you expected you would.
If you had rolled anything less than 100, you were good. Alright, the goblin is going to make it another 40. I won't count him, or 48. I won't count him off until he's actually off, because Tordain might be able to still hit him with an arrow. So he's right at the edge of the map now.
But there is some light cover now.
Tordain, you're up.
Aim and fire.
Okay. Are you at long range?
Yeah.
Alright, so long range is minus 20, and he's in light cover from the undergrowth, which will be 10. So you'll negate, what, 20 of that?
Yeah.
So you're at minus 10 to hit him. Ah! Still hit him.
12
Right.
damage.
You put in the minus 10
Yep.
on that? Okay.
My ballistic skill is 46.
You did 12. Alright, you managed to sever some important structure in his leg, integral to the goblin, and he sort of tumbles and just goes rolling down into the dirt in the undergrowth, but you never see him rise.
Goblin sans femoral artery.
Sure. Zelene, you're up.
Guess what I do?
Okay, Margol, you're up.
How heavily armored is this guy? Or when I'm grappling him, can I just bash him against the cliff as an attack?
Yes, you can. You can bash people you're grappling. The way it works is,
Isn't it like an opposed strength check? That
yes, you could do an opposed strength check, and if you win, you do damage to him.
Alright.
So you got 1 degree of failure.
Yep.
He got orcs. I'm on the wrong page. He did better than you, so he resists. He manages to hold you still, so you're not able to hurt him. Alyssa.
Try and aim the attack.
Okay, plus 30.
Magic.
Okay, you do 7 damage to his arm. That'll be reduced by 5, so it'll do 2 damage, which puts him down to 11. No, that'll put him down to 10. Alright, your Shashka manages to scrape across his arm. It doesn't seem to do any serious damage, but it at least hurts him. The orc's going to try and break free again. Opposed strength check. He breaks free. And puts a little space between you and him, Margol. And he goes right back to beating on his drum. And, well, he's always been shouting, but he's back to beating on his drum. Tordain.
There is distance between him and Margol, so you can probably shoot him without combat.
Yeah, I should be.
I will allow this.
What is the drum made out of?
Looks like goblin skin, if you had to guess, based on its coloration.
If I I could probably shoot clean through that, right?
Probably.
I shoot the drum.
Alright, what is it? Minus 10 for aiming specifically?
Yeah. No, for something that small of a target, especially since he's hitting it, I would say minus 20.
So, cut even. Nope.
Yeah, you are trying to hit the drum rather than the hands.
Alright, the arrow lands right next to his feet, but he keeps on beating. Zelene.
Can I listen out for anything that might be coming?
Absolutely.
Sure, roll a perception check. You hear you hear not that distant, only because they started dying down earlier. You hear other groups of drums seeming to respond to this guy's drums and they're increasing in fervor. It is very likely he has been noticed.
I will call out from under my leaf. We have incoming.
All of you hear a voice that you recognize shout, "We have incoming," but you do not know from where. Margal, you're up.
Can I swift attack him?
Yes, you can.
Alright, I will swift
I
attack
thought
him.
there was some distance.
Not enough distance for an ogre's reach to matter.
Here.
He's also wielding a small tree.
The hit against his body deflects off his armor, but the hit, the first hit, the second hit does connect with him. Let's see, 10 damage, 4, 7, 3, 7. All right, Alyssa, you're up.
Aim attack. We're counting surround.
You need to move closer to him.
I step forward and swing. We counting.
Okay. Yeah, you get plus 10 for surround. That'll hurt him.
Shank.
4, 7 minus 4. Alright, you managed to impale him and tear it out, but of course, with typical orc resilience, he just sort of keeps on going. He declines to attack. He is more than happy to just keep trying to summon reinforcements. Tordane.
I listen out for like the direction of incoming noise, and then take aim at that wherever I hear it. So perception check.
Sure.
Nope.
They're everywhere. Zelene, you're up.
Alright. I'm gonna need Margal for this boat.
Probably.
Fuck.
Hey, you could totally help us kill the orc, and then we get the boat into
I'm
the water faster.
I'm too far away for it to matter.
I mean, plus bonus from surround is always useful.
No time like the present.
Well, they did say you didn't. They say you got a free turn since you.
You can't stack them up.
Oh, okay.
You can get a free turn and then join the initiative order, but you can't do double movement all of a sudden.
Alright, so... Okay. Let me do one more perception. Because I want to try and find the nearest sound. Besides the orc beating on his drum.
I'm sorry, say that again?
He wants to locate the nearest sound apart from the orc
Oh, okay.
on his drum.
No.
You roll well enough to know that they are coming out from the jungle. How long it's going to take them and how many of them there are and which particular direction they're coming most likely to come out of still eludes you.
I don't know the direction. Okay.
Margot, you're up.
Alright, more bashing.
Okay. Yeah, he's dead. He is super dead. Wait.
So that's what it looks like when it's an Ulrich, but the repeat roll is missed. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes.
Oh shit! You can fortune point the reroll.
Yeah.
You really want to crit something.
Theoretically, you could. All right, so you finally had enough of this guy. He wasn't necessarily the one who ripped off a part of that goblin that you had so painstakingly collected, but he looks similar enough to him that you can hold him guilty by association. And you just, in a moment of rare finesse for an ogre, you manage to bring back your tree branch and shove it forward almost like some kind of poorly improvised spear and just impale the orc. And you raise him up on the stick and shake it violently until his neck snaps, and then deposit him back onto the ground.
Try to take Margal's food.
Margal, we need to move the boat into the water.
All of you roll perception. Nope. Good enough, but we'll see if anyone does better. Nope and nope. Alright, Margal, you can tell more probably through your sense of smell and hearing at this point that there are quite a few orcs and probably goblins heading your direction. They seem to be mostly coming... They seem nearer to you than further. So most likely the southern path where the previous group came from seems to be the clearest if you decide to make a run for it in the jungle. But the two groups coming from the west and the north, they are going to be here very, very soon. Like, you have maybe a minute, 2 minutes tops, and because it sounds like they are hauling ass to get here.
So, how long did it take us to get the boat up here?
Not that long. I mean, you'd have to make 2 trips. It'd probably take about a minute.
I bet if Margal carries the boat and everybody else carries stuff, I bet you can do it in one.
Okay.
I will take the stuff.
2 trips.
Yell at Alyssa to grab my arrows as she comes up because they're littered around right next to her.
Margot will put the chest and the barrel outside the boat and pick it up and start moving down towards the beach.
Grab the barrel.
I'll get them on the way back.
So I get 4 arrows back?
No, you need to roll. I thought it was 1 through 5 to recover.
I thought it was, you said 6 through 10 the last session.
Whatever I said last time, do that.
Okay.
But note that the arrows you shot at the goblin way across the beach, you have to go out of your way to get.
That's true. You shot 2 arrows at him.
Right, and I shot 4 right there. Okay, crap, I have to reroll.
Okay,
I get 3 back.
Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so Alyssa's grabbed the barrel, you've got the chest, Margot's got the boat. Splash.
Let go, they almost here.
Tordane carries the barrel over.
I've got the barrel.
Oh, whatever. And I guess I have the chest.
Yeah.
Margot, give us a push. Help me push. And we push off, and I start rowing.
Okay, as you do that, there are friends coming.
It is dark in several hours pre-dawn.
I was gonna
the
row
waves
us
are-
out, try and get behind this boat. Out of
Okay.
sight.
You notice as you start rowing that it is much lower tide than when you came in.
Okay.
And there are more jetting and ragged rocks than during the day.
Okay.
If you want to try and navigate to the big boat, that's fine. Just remember how dangerous that is.
True. I guess I'll go straight out, the clearest path.
Alright, take a row check.
We only need to get away from the shore.
You move out, you hear a little bit of scraping against the boat, but there don't seem to be any holes. That said, progress is a little bit slow with the extra weight and your arms being tired from a long day of fighting and shooting. And you don't make it out too
Y'all are moving fast enough out to avoid the orcs specifically chasing after you, and, like, being able to get to you easily, but they do easily see you guys.
Do they have bows?
Not yet, but some of them seem to be shouting and slapping one another, and others are running back into the forest, presumably to get something.
Are we out of the jagged rock area?
Not quite.
I guess I keep rolling us.
You do want to be careful how far you go out. You don't want tide to rip you out to the open sea, because that would be fucked.
I kind of want to get like over past these rocks and then try and come back around to the boat.
Okay, take a road check.
I'm re-rolling. Damn it.
Would the dangers of tide suggest that we're out of the sea between the old world and Arabic? There is no tide in the Mediterranean in the real world, after all.
Well, good thing this isn't the real world.
You make it out to where you want to go, but as you bump into a particularly large rock, your barrel of fish slips off.
Don't worry, it'll float. You just gotta grab it.
I was literally 2 seconds away from throwing it overboard because I knew it would be fine.
Well, I mean, if you lose it, or if it goes back to shore, it would have a short lifespan. I'll tell you that much.
Is it like still within reach?
Yeah.
If you take a check for it, just to not overtip the boat while you're like extending out to try and grab this
I
barrel.
yell at Celine to pull it back in with her spear so it's closer.
Well, she better do it quick, because Margot's not going to wait.
Take an agility check to try and maneuver the barrel closer. That's fine, the barrel's a little bit closer. Easy agility check to pick it up for whoever's trying.
I will try.
Easy's plus 20.
So 3 degrees of success.
Sounds good enough to me. Alright. As y'all start pulling behind the boat, you do hear the whizzing of arrows. See if any of them connect.
I believe Alyssa was like holding her shield up behind the boat.
Yeah, you know how Vikings used to put their shields at the side of the ships?
I don't think it does anything, but you know. But without the count.
So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Trying to block the
6.
missiles, so...
I think it will definitely help prevent Alyssa from being hit by arrows.
I was going to say, if it works on land, it should bloody well work at sea.
Let's see. 1 to 2. Okay, so we'll do 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6. Margol, you're hit by an arrow.
Alright,
It does 5 damage to your head.
alright, it bounces off. I bite it with my teeth to catch it.
Alright, as y'all pull behind the boat, you do hear numerous sounds of arrows wildly hitting the wood of the plank, and notice a lot of really, really poorly aimed shots fired overhead that just completely miss you guys.
By this point, it's been probably 45 minutes since you first spotted the other goblins.
How long till dawn?
You, by your weather sense, you would probably estimate an hour and some change.
That being said, as y'all sort of pull in close to the boat, you do hear kind of a collective groan from the Greenskins as you have managed to worm your way to a spot where they can't quite get to you guys. You do hear lots of taunting and jeering for about 30 minutes as the orcs seemingly try to convince you as politely as an orc can to come out and fight fairly against their overwhelming numbers. But it's presumed you don't respond.
Tordin goes to sleep, I guess.
GM ruling request. What color is Greenskin blood in this?
It's green. We're gonna go old school. They have green blood.
Cool.
Margot will hear these taunts and clutch the barrel of fish to his chest.
That being said, the night progresses a little further until the orcs, and like the orcs are so eager to get to you guys. You do hear the occasional sound of some of them, like, trying to splash in the water, and then they go back, and then they're yelling at each other, and you start to see smoke because the orcs have apparently just kind of basically set up camp on the beach. Some of them still have interest in you guys. A couple have basically given up and are just hanging around the fires. There's the occasional fights breaking out between them. And shouting, but you can't really see too well from your perspective, because anytime y'all try and poke your heads around, there's always some opportunistic goblin who tries to shoot you.
Alright, Margot will be fine as long as they don't start cooking things.
I have bad news for you, Margle. Those guys you killed earlier are showing up for a barbecue, and they were not invited as guests.
So glad they're not like these men. Yours can swim.
All of you do hear, or do smell the distinct smell of burning goblin, and to all but one of you, it's pretty distasteful.
Zeline, Margot might be drooling on you. You might want to try and avoid that.
Alright. However, as the night passes on, the orcs do suddenly get fairly quiet. And it's not the kind of quiet that was, like, progressive. It's like a hush from, like, an individual... or, like, something has caused them to shut up.
Tordain, I guess, has the clearest line of sight, so he looks back.
Sure, you can look back. An arrow goes whizzing not even remotely close to you.
I don't even bother
on the
registering it.
beach, you see a particularly large orc. He's a bit more brutish, and he's at least a head taller than the other orcs on the beach. And he is glaring directly at you guys. And there are a number of goblins and orcs around him speaking to him. And he occasionally will interrupt one by bringing his axe to bear and just cleaving its head straight from its shoulders in some sort of fit of rage. But then, usually after a few seconds of silence, another goblin or orc will carry on seemingly where the other one left off. And this continues until there's about a little pile of about 4 or 5 bodies around him, presumably of people who were proposing ideas or were telling him what happened, but he doesn't seem overtly satisfied with any of the answers. Roll a perception check.
Cold, I haven't been rolling other than keeping us steady.
Okay, you don't notice it then. Alright, that being said, you have a few hours until dawn, and this...
I think they're at an hour till dawn.
Oh, an hour till dawn?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pull out... Okay, so he reaches for something around his neck, and as he grabs it, he shouts something and points to you guys.
I rowed to get us further behind the boat.
Okay, so you squeeze a little further behind the boat. Unless you roll like a 100, in which case you'll crash into something. So don't do that. Okay,
yeah,
good.
You're fine.
You get yourselves squeezed nice and in there. But you do catch the sight of numerous orcs and goblins stripping all of their armor and starting to wade out into the water.
Have their swimming capabilities improved?
I don't know, you haven't really seen them try to swim yet.
These are island orcs. They probably swim.
I thought we established that they were probably newly arrived.
They are probably
Yeah,
newly
they got
arrived.
here.
Probably
the orc
crash
version
landing.
of Moana.
Yeah, they probably haven't done the dwarf method of swimming, which is to walk on the bottom until you get out.
And you can't see what the war boss is doing, so I'm not going to bother describing it. Alright, I'm going to get rid of this.
Get us out, Foul. Get us out.
I can't, because that's suicide trying to row in the open ocean.
Roll turn order and get ready for the most awkward landscape for a battle we have ever had in a campaign. Who keeps turning my turn order off?
Me!
Sorry.
Can I interject and say that I thought we were about half an hour from Dawn? Because
Not anymore!
At some point it was said that we were an hour away, and then half an hour passed behind the boat.
I said we were an hour and some change. That change was half an hour, I guess.
Just roll your initiative.
Damn it, Celine's faster than me this time. I guess I'm gonna Miyamoto Musashi this fight and just like start smacking people with an oar.
I have no idea what that means, but okay.
Famous samurai who once famously won a duel by beating the other guy with an oar.
Alright, so do y'all just want to hold on the rowboat? Or are you going to try anything particularly tactful? Or are you just going to hope that the orcs don't reach you and then just kill them when they do?
Can we... The inside of this boat is, like, fucked to high heaven, so can we fit in there and, like, get out of our little boat?
I mean, you could climb on top of it. The top of it seems sturdy enough if you can climb it. The side.
How high above the water is it?
From the angle it's jutting out, to get to a part of it that's flat enough for you to defend on it, you'd probably need to climb up, I don't know, probably like 7 or 8 feet. But it's a very easy climb because of how it's, like, there's a bunch of holes and all sorts of other things for you to put your hands in. The only problem is if you peek your head above the top, you will be visible to most, if not the entire beach.
Yeah. That was kind of what I was afraid of.
But I'm about to start rolling swim checks, so make up your mind.
Does anyone have any rope?
Yes.
Find something to tie us to.
Tordain will...
How is the surf looking?
It's still, the waves aren't too bad right now. And the tide is very slowly turning to come in. That said, it's dark, and even the baseline waves tend to bob your little canoe fairly significantly. Not so much that you're taking tremendous effort to stay upright in the canoe, though.
So basically what I'm asking is, if I tie us to something, how badly is it going to batter our rowboat?
Probably not too badly.
Okay. I will begin tying us to... What do you want, the ship?
That's pretty much the only thing there.
Okay, I will tie us to the ship. So that we're right alongside it.
Alright, because they're trying to force themselves against the waves, all these orcs and goblins start trying to swim out to you guys. Let's see how they're all doing.
Some of them will be kind enough to drown, I hope. The rest won't be able to fight very well in the water.
Alright, this goblin's doggy paddling out pretty good. And then 2 of these orcs are making their way out. The rest of these guys try and they just get pushed back to shore.
Do any of them drown?
No, not yet. You have to fail pretty colossally to start drowning in waves that are pushing you back towards the beach.
Tordain will ready his bow and an arrow.
Okay, and I will let y'all know when it's 45 minutes to sunrise and 30 minutes to sunrise and so on and so forth.
And I will just take aim at the I guess I can't see the orc. I'll just take aim at the goblin in case he gets, if he starts making too much progress for my liking.
Okay, Margot, what are you gonna do?
Margot will place his hand against the big ship to try to steady the boat so it's not rocking as much, and he will delay.
Okay, Zeline, what are you gonna do?
Is there much of effort to get onto the bigger ship?
No, it takes a Skillshare surface check, but it's a very easy check.
of those go?
Yeah, I don't have skill sheer surface, and my strength sucks.
A PSA for everyone that unless you're under extraordinary circumstances, which, I mean, being in large waves that are slamming you against a ship unfortunately would count as one, it is assumed that most people... actually, never mind. Ignore I said anything.
So, can I do an agility check instead of a skills sheer surface?
There is a rope tied along that she could use to maybe sort of tightrope a little bit.
Do you have acrobatics?
No.
You can... Tell you what I'll do.
Ask Margle to throw you.
I was going to say lift instead of throw, but...
Do not trust Marvel with ballistic skill.
Here's what I can do. If you decide to climb it and you fail, you can use your agility to try and catch yourself, so you don't fall into the water.
Alright, can I use my delay to help Zeline up?
Yes. If you want, you can give her a boost.
Alright, I will give her a boost.
Okay, just roll the strength check so you don't... So your arm doesn't, like, lose under her weight.
Fuck!
Oh, wait, that was Celine's check. Celine... so Margot lifts you up almost at the top. You can roll an agility check to try and correct that.
Any bonus to the agility?
No.
There you go.
All right. So he lifts you up, and you grab onto the wall and indicate to him that you're good to go. But when he takes away his support, you didn't quite realize how much you were relying on his strength to hold yourself up, and pretty much you start to drop quickly. But you manage to slide your foot into one of the many holes riddling the ship, and it helps you correct enough that you can give yourself a push and sort of climb your way to the top of the boat.
Alright, I will get up there, and I will kind of hunker down so no one can shoot at me, but I will ready my spear and shield.
You can take a low to the ground stance to impose a penalty to shooting. I don't think you can quite eliminate it.
Okay.
If the railings are still there, could she lie flat?
I just realized I didn't put y'all in turn order. Whoops. Alyssa, you're up.
I will attempt to maneuver my shield so that it's blocking any arrows that come from the shore and draw my sword again.
Okay. Greenskins. This orc starts drowning. This orc... Nope, he's actually going to make it to about... He's going to come around this corner, and he's making good speed.
He is doggy paddling like there's no tomorrow.
And then the goblin... Nope, he starts drowning. And then all along the shore... Ooh, goodness, look at all these fails. Look at all these fails! None of the Greenskins managed to make it any further out. And the war boss is getting audibly frustrated. You hear him shouting, oh, Zeline, you can actually see him now. Take a perception check.
Okay.
Nope, you don't see it. You see that he's clutching at his throat very harshly, but it looks like he's just frustrated. That being said, they're gonna fire off a volley at you guys.
Is he shouting, or is he doing like an audible type of sound?
It sounds like shouting. Zeline, one arrow hits you.
Even with my shield?
Even with your shield.
Okay.
It does a whopping 6 damage to your chest.
Chest.
Crippling, I know.
Yeah. So Yeah, I take a wound.
Celine, you're up. The arrow sort of... It hits you, but it does more to knock the wind out of you and throw you down a bit than it does to actually pierce your skin.
Alright, is there anywhere up here that I can... Is, like, this mast still there?
No, that mast broke and fell off. I just don't have... It just... Art does not reflect that. That's why there's a mast in the ocean.
I don't know if full defense works or not then.
If you just lay down, it will prevent you from being able to defend yourself in melee should one of the orcs manage to get on the ship, but you will be nearly impossible to hit with arrows.
Well, okay, so my next question is, can I lay down and do that in delay in case one gets up?
Yeah, but with your delay action, the only thing you'll be allowed to do is get up.
Okay, yeah, as long as I'm not, helpless.
Yeah, that's fine. Tordain.
I shoot the orc that's actually making progress.
Okay. Yeah, well, he took his armor off, so yeah, the arrow will actually stick in him.
Does it disrupt his swing?
It'll make him take a swim check. Oh! Oh gosh. Okay, he gets so angry that he just, like, starts pile driving towards you guys. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's not happy. Margot, there's an orc, like, reaching for your boat.
I swift
Did you
attack
roll a
him.
1?
Yes, he did.
Nice.
Do we count as a round with me and Elise?
No, not on a boat that's, like, no, you don't get any bonuses to hit
Gotcha.
this guy. As he reaches for the boat, you very angrily and almost offended, like, swing your branch to just slap his left arm, basically ripping it off. And with the second blow, you just bring it slamming down his left shoulder, which snaps his spine, and he just proceeds to float there lifeless.
Can I reach out and grab my arrow?
You can roll for it, but it's very unlikely. Sure, you can get your arrow back.
Yeah.
Alright, Alyssa, you're up.
Can I make the case that these greenskins in the water have basically no way of defending themselves or maneuvering, so these should be pretty easy to hit?
Yep, they're pretty easy to pick off.
So, we do get surround?
Have you ever tried to fight on a craft that's very small and packed with people?
I mean...
Have I? Of course not,
That's
but
reflected
I assume
by
it's hard.
All I
That's
need to do is
reflected
make
by
stabbing.
them being unable to dodge blow or parry, not reflected by you getting an advantage to hit.
Right, but all I would theoretically need to do is make stabbing actions.
Too bad, GM's decision. Moving on. Alyssa, you're up.
Okay. We'll just sit tight here then.
I mean, the other two are drowning, so I wouldn't really worry about it.
I don't have a great incentive to move at this point, I completely agree.
Okay, this
Going
orc...
up there.
This orc recovers enough to grab onto this, and he's going to try and climb it. Alright, this orc climbs up on top. He is naked except for the double choppas and a loincloth.
Can I use my delay to get up and then my turn to charge him?
When it's your turn,
Okay.
you can use your delay to get up now, though.
I think that's what he was asking.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Alright, that goblin's still floundering. You can wait until after the volley, though. To
Yeah,
get
that's
up.
what I was like. Yeah, I'll do that.
Alright, none of those guys make it out. No. Well, this goblin starts making some progress. This goblin is still drowning. And then arrow volley. No. Ooh, close, but no. No. And ooh, close, but no. Alright, Celine, it's your turn. You have an opponent.
I charge him.
Okay. Roll an agility check. This is not the best of footing for a charge.
Yeah, guess who's re-rolling that shit?
Aw, damn. Alright, you're nimble-footed enough to, even though rotting boards are giving way beneath your feet, you manage to be nimble enough to continue jumping, leaping from point to point until you drive your spear towards your foe. Ooh, nice stab. Alright, you impale him right in the arm, and he lets out a howl of anger at you dealing damage to him. And he looks down at you enraged. But with his higher bulk, he is not pushed backwards from your attack. You do impale his arm pretty nastily, though. Tordain, you're up.
Can I maneuver up on top of the boat? The big boat? To get a better view?
Yes.
I have a climbing kit, so does that help the...
Yeah, yes, due to your position... Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna move your boat a bit to be more where it should be, presumably. Okay, now you can.
Okay. I will get up on the boat. So,
okay. Yeah, do roll a very easy skill surface. Okay, good.
Ooh, close.
Alright, you get up on top, and you see Zelene dueling with an orc.
what do I see
Is
on
it a
the
half
shore?
action to get up?
Whoa.
Huh?
How much of his action does it take for him to climb up?
I'll say a half, thanks to the climbing kit.
Yeah.
What do I see on shore?
You see... roll a perception. Y'all just don't want to see it. You see the orc boss. Oh gosh. Okay. The orc boss.
You see a bunch of orcs.
Could
You
I have
see-
rolled
yeah.
a new perception by now?
Yes. Only because of what's going on. So yes.
I'm probably just going to shoot the orc boss anyways, because I know that's typically a better solution.
Nope,
Nope.
don't want to see either.
There are just orcs and goblins everywhere. It's raining orcs and goblins.
I shoot the big one.
Okay.
Can you reload and shoot in a half
I already
action?
reloaded.
And then you climbed while your bow was loaded?
It's not that hard.
Jacob has a point.
Yeah, I don't think you
just
can
hold the
climb
arrow.
with your bow drawn.
No shooting this turn.
Okay.
You can pull out your bow and load it. Jacob has a good point. Margal, you're up.
You can put the arrow
I
in your
want
mouth.
to move that precariously perched chest from the balancing on the tip of the boat back towards the middle,
There you
and
go.
then I will delay.
Okay. Alyssa, you're up.
Still holding position.
Good. The boat's about to need both of you very desperately. Zelene, you're up. Or wait, no, the Greenskins are up. Okay, the orc with the double choppa is going to swing at you. He hits. Zelene.
Let me try and parry it. Hits.
Okay. That is not what I wanted to roll. Ooh, ow. Ow. He does 13 damage to your left arm.
Well, that fucking sucks.
Oof.
The others, still drowning, now drowning. You make it out a little bit. You make it out a little bit. You make it out a little bit. There's about to be a lot of drowning orcs, I suspect.
The tide turned deceptive.
Alright, Zelina, are you alive?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Roll a perception check.
You notice that the tide starts to come in a little bit more. And the orcs are able to use this to swim out a little bit, I guess.
The sky is lightening somewhat. Oh my god, someone sees it. Zelene, as the orc's choppa cleaves into your arm and it sends you flailing, just knocks your ass hard down to the deck, and you roll a little bit away from him. As you look up, you notice that the orc big boss is holding some sort of strange white opal that's glowing tremendously in his hand, and you actually time it just perfectly. As the sky starts to lighten just a little bit, dawn is within reach, but the trees behind him are shaking as something seems to be pushing its way through. Zelene, you're up.
I will shout to Dordain to shoot the glowing thing. And then I will aim and attack this orc. And I will miss.
All the sad face.
I'm about to die. Actually, let me fortune point that. No, even worse.
Even further sad face. Your arm is too wounded from the blow you took earlier in your spear. You just can't quite get it to have the speed it needs to hit this guy. Tordain, do you save your party member, or do you save the world? If that's even what's happening. You don't know what's coming through the forest. One good arrow is all it would take.
How big is this opal?
It's not really like a sphere, it's more like kind of it literally looks like if someone took a gem and shattered it on the ground and he took a piece of it. It's about the size of his hand. It's about long as his hand, and he's able to fully surround it with his hand. The only reason you can tell it's glowing is you can kind of see it through his fingers.
I shoot the glowing.
Okay. This will not be an easy check, but go ahead and fire.
Having aimed for plus 20, what's the modifier?
It's going to be minus 30 to hit him.
Oh, minus 10. I will reroll. Damn.
Alright, the arrow goes whizzing past him, and he narrows his eyes at you, and he seems like he's very acutely aware of what you just tried to do. Margol.
Margol will scream loudly to try to intimidate incoming swimming goblins.
Oh, that's actually not a bad idea. Roll intimidation check. Alright, you yell very intimidatingly, and the goblins who aren't drowning, because the ones that are drowning are unfortunately immune to terror checks right now. Okay, yeah, it does have a noticeable effect. I will get around to what exactly occurs when their turn hits. Alyssa, you're up.
All right.
Am I able to try and get onto the ship?
Yes, you may. All you need is a very easy scale sure surface.
What's the modifier for very easy?
Plus 30%.
Plus 30. I already don't like this, but okay.
Don't fall. Nice. All right, you easily clamber up the side and find yourself next to Tordain.
And you have a half action left.
I was about to ask. I'll move into contact with the chopper.
Okay.
Can't attack him yet, but
No, but you can slow him down a bit. The orc's turn. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start with the Choppa boy. He misses horribly. The goblins... well, they would have fled if they weren't drowning. This one in particular, though, he's dead.
I was gonna say, can they just panic more?
This goblin has stopped floundering and is silent. And this orc is drowning.
He's very sneaky.
At this point, however, the war boss, all three of you on the boat, can hear and see the tree shaking violently as suddenly from it, two large, slimy humanoid figures come bursting out and land upon the sand. And you realize, oh. The war boss, or the big boss, turns and sees them, still gripping onto his opal, and shouts something, and you notice that all the orcs who aren't drowning, or already in the water, start to immediately pull back on the beach. And with a roar of just vitriol, he points at the group of y'all on the boat, and these large figures immediately start running for the water.
Do I know these are trolls?
Yes, you do know these are trolls, but you have not seen this kind of troll before.
I've never seen a river troll.
Nope.
Nor have you smelled one.
Fair
Prepare yourself.
Zelene, you're up.
Alright, I'm gonna try.
You will not need a fear check for these guys until they are close.
I will shout for everyone to get to the boat, and especially for Tordain, get to the boat and get ready to row us out. I will say the same thing to Alyssa.
The opal's still glowing?
Yes.
Fuck! Do I use it? Do I use it?
What do you got to lose?
I mean, do you want to die?
There.
All right. With a given a sudden sense of, oh, we might need to hurry now, you slice clean through the orc's left arm, and he lets out a gasp before you land a swift kick onto his abdomen, and he tumbles bleeding from the side of the ship into the water below.
Get to the boat. Go.
Margle,
If these-
take a perception check.
All right.
Tordain, you're up.
I'm gonna take one last shot at the opal.
No.
I'm gonna reroll it.
Margle, your brain is completely elsewhere right now.
Margle, you're trying to decide if the trolls might actually be inedible based on their smell.
I can't see them.
No, based on their smell. You smell something that you think might actually not be food.
This is
All right.
terrifying.
Tordain, another arrow lands very close to the boss, and he seems unfazed. Margle, your turn.
I am going to untie the boat and
Okay.
then delay.
Are you going to, like, hold on to it or something so you don't float away?
Yes,
Okay.
I am unanchoring us, but still keeping the boat there.
Okay, Alyssa, it's your turn.
I turn to Zelene and say, if those things can swim, can't they capsize the boat just by holding on to it?
If we get out far enough, hopefully the captain will get to us before those things.
I've heard worse plans.
Can you leave the ogre behind to hold them off just in case?
Margot,
I'm
is
sorry,
our
are you guys
gunner.
running away or having a board meeting up?
I can't rotate
It's not my turn,
myself.
so I'm not doing anything.
I can't rotate myself for some reason.
Can't what?
Rotate myself. I can move myself, just not rotating.
I don't know. That happens sometimes. Here, I'll make another copy of you.
I'm gonna try and get down into the boat.
Try using your new self.
Same problem.
Oh, yeah, I don't
Zoom
know.
out, or zoom in or zoom out.
Oh, yeah, that's probably what it is. You need to zoom in or, yeah.
Oh, it was just delaying it, so I guess.
No, I just turned it for you.
Oh, never mind.
Alright.
Still nothing. Anyway, I'm going to try and get back into the boat.
Alright, you can either try and jump down into it with an agility check, or you can skill your surface down.
To be honest, I'm better at agility, even with a very easy. Oh no, wait, that's not true.
It's a regular agility, though,
Yeah.
and a very easy climb, so choose wisely.
So yeah, there's... Wait,
All right, you climb down back into the boat.
You're on a boat.
All right, the trolls. These are indeed river trolls, and the prospect of moving through water for them is not that difficult. This one, no, he fired an arrow, and then I'm not sure what he did after that.
Jordan was before you.
I mean, I would have gotten back down on the boat.
Okay, then roll to get back down in the boat. I remember you firing an arrow, but I don't remember what you did after that. Alright, you're good. Alright, this troll starts waddling into the waves and seems to get pushed back by the larger, like, beachheads that are sort of able to form because of the rocks, and gets stopped a little bit. This one makes horrendous progress and is just plowing through the water towards you guys.
Please be confused by the tide. Please be
Zeline, roll a perception check. No, sorry, not perception. A common knowledge somewhere you're from check. Because thankfully trolls are from everywhere.
Really, even from where I'm from?
Even from where you're from, there are technically trolls. They're just different kinds of trolls.
I ain't never seen one.
Sand trolls.
Interesting thing to say there, Jacob.
Internet trolls.
Nope.
Ice trolls.
Ice trolls.
Those exist.
Okay, Zeline, what are you going to do with your turn?
I'm
Lava
getting...
trolls. Actually, you are going to notice the first rays of dawn peeking over the edge of the water. Take a perception check.
Okay.
You notice that sort of interposed between you and the barely rising sun is the wind serpent, and its broadsides are turning to face towards the beachhead.
I will say go and row, and I'm gonna do something completely stupid. It's probably gonna get me killed.
Well, I'm looking forward to this.
Nice knowing you, Cole.
Get in the damn
Yep.
boat. You can make it to the boat before I start rowing.
So,
Can I
Foul,
have your spear?
it's either I do this and you guys can get away, or I don't do this and he capsizes the boat on his next turn, and we're all fucked. So,
I mean, it's possible to fight a river troll and swim at the same time. I'm not saying it's easy, but it is possible.
all right.
What heroic act are you going to attempt, Zeline? I'm giddy with anticipation.
I am going to jump off the back
Hold
of
on.
this boat.
I want to try an impact before this occurs.
You want to try what?
Alright, I'm gonna toss the rope I have, my hand up towards where Zeline is.
All right, Zeline, you see a length of rope come soaring over the top. Roll a ballistic skill check, ogre.
I'm sure this will work fine.
You may be smart. Oh, okay, yep.
Shit.
You see an arrow. You see a large length of rope come soaring up from where you know the boat is and lands surprisingly, literally right beside you.
I will grab it as I perform this stupid act. I'm going to jump off the back of the boat, spear leveled at this creature's head or shoulders, and try to impale it as I fall.
Okay.
'Cause
Okay.
It's either I distract it and let them get away, or we're all fucked and we're in the water.
I need to think for a moment. All right. Here's how this is gonna go down. you're going to need to roll an agility check to run up the slanted side of the boat and launch off properly. Then you're going to need to roll a weapon skill check. Oh, gosh. Okay, you have two options that this can go down. You have to roll an agility check to get to the top of the boat running full speed. Then you're going to have to roll a weapon skill check at the end of it to impale the troll. Okay, good job. Now, how you decide to launch yourself from the boat, you have two options. You can take more of the acrobatic route, where you leap off and aim for him, or you leap off in his direction, or you can attempt more of a weapon skill check, where you do more of like a plant your feet against it and dive straight for him. If you take the agility, I'll be a little more forgiving about you being able to land on him, but you're not going to receive any bonus to your damage. If you go the weapon skill check, it'll be a pretty unforgiving about if you're going to hit him or not, but if you do hit him, you're going to impale him pretty fucking hard.
Oh, the choice.
But you do make it to here. And you can see him. And he's large and an easy target.
Fear check?
Oh yeah, you will need a fear check. Ah, yeah, that's true. You're about to do something suicidal. I don't know if you've got the stomach for it. You out of fortune points?
Yeah, I got one more.
And what does it matter if you don't use it now?
Even worse.
Nope. You get to the edge, and you look down at this horrible creature that you haven't been able to see up close until now, and you freeze in your fear as you can see its horrible mouth full of fangs and just slime covering it, and you begin to have that horrible recollection of the slime you found inside this boat and realize this thing may have been partially responsible for destroying this boat. What chance do you have? And you hold still. Tornade, you're up.
How easy is the barrel to open?
Which barrel?
The one with fish. It's right.
Roll, before you do anything, roll a common knowledge wherever you're from check. Okay. One thing that you notice is that when you look at this troll, as horrible and hideous as it is, these trolls are moving with such a strong sense of purpose and speed, you've never seen anything like it. Like, this troll has literally swam past loads of bodies, the water's hitting him, there's sounds going on all around him. They ran practically through fires on the beach to get to you guys, and they do not seem to be distracted by anything. They are very single-minded. Which, from your experience, does not at all compute. That's not how trolls are supposed to act.
That kills that plan. I was gonna put a fish on an arrow and shoot it at him.
Yeah, I figured as much.
I'm gonna yell at Margol to yank Zelene back to the boat, and I'm gonna start rowing.
Zelene, I'm gonna roll a random check here to see if whether you limply let go of it in your fear or held on tightly to it for dear life with your fear. So let's see what happens, shall we?
Okay.
I'm thinking on a low roll you let go, on a high roll you're holding on. You let go.
Okay.
All of you see the rope's hanging limply. It's still up on the boat next to Zelene, but she's definitely not holding on to it. You can see that from where you are. You can abandon her here. That is also an option.
Just goddamn go.
Yeah, but the thing is that you're literally Tordane's one friend, so now I'm gonna do something.
These obviously focused trolls, are they looking at Zelene, who's standing obviously on the prow of that boat, or at the boat we're in?
No, they seem to be focused singularly on the boat. Well, you don't know what the other one's doing. The one you can see is coming right at you guys.
Go, Tordane.
I
Please.
start rowing again. Nope. I guess I'll use my last fortune point. Nope.
even worse. What the fuck?
And the dice reveal their true colors all along.
Alright, I have a delayed... No, wait, I used it to throw the rope up.
Margot, it's your turn. Tordane's rowing as hard as he can, but the tide is too strong.
Alright,
Or you're too fat. One of the two.
Realizing that this is going to be terrible, will grab the oars from him, and I will try to row.
Yeah, that's a strong
I'll
tide.
use my reroll.
No.
Such brave heroes. Alyssa, you are all that stands between the party and potential oblivion.
Yeah, the fuck am I supposed to do? Back to the ship.
I don't know, get your shield ready?
You're...
In theory, they were readying their broadsides. We could get up on the ship and then just let them shoot them.
Look, we're playing for time here, so I'm playing for time.
Alright, so how are you going to play for time? Are you going to try and stab this guy as he comes in? Or are you just going to put your shield up and hope for the best?
Back up the ship.
Alright, you leap off the rowboat and clamber back up the ship.
All of my plans, they are going fucking so far awry.
Okay, so at this
What
point,
plans?
the sun gets high enough that it hits that exact point of dawn where the sun is in everybody's eyes. Most notably the orcs, who are all facing towards the sun. Right? Yeah, they're all facing towards the sun. And you hear a first cannon shot smack into that cliff face, killing 2 of the 3 orcs in that spot.
Sure, Margle.
Alright, I will delay, and when the troll runs up to try to, like, stiff arm it with the oar, or my tree branch, rather.
Okay. I have a quick question for Jacob. Hold on a second.
Oh, I did have a half action left.
What do you want to do with your half action?
Casually walk up. Hi, Zelene. What are you doing?
She's frozen with fear. Moving on.
Shouldn't we have a...
Oh, should we all make the fear check now?
Yeah, you should be making fear checks here.
I mean, not you, because you're...
Oh yeah, I forgot. Fear checks for everyone. Except for Margle. Margle's is whatever.
Marvel's fine anyways, suckers.
Way to waste a good roll. Good job,
good.
Tordane.
I've seen trolls before, this is fine.
Alyssa,
What am I doing? You see what
teleporting
I'm
you
doing.
back into the boat.
Hey, hold on.
Yes.
You were perfectly willing for me to get up the damn side, so I'm presuming, frankly, that I couldn't see the thing too well because there was someone called Tordane in front of me.
I'll tell you what. I'll put you back on the boat. There you go.
I'd be
But now you're
perfectly
frozen with
happy-
fear.
I was like, I'd be perfectly happy to be frozen with fear right here, because that makes sense to me. Look over the side. Hey, Zelene, what are you doing? Oh, shit.
I will allow this. Moving on.
Thank
Yeah, that's fine. Continue, Jacob.
All right. So as Zelene continues to quiver in fear, is that what's happening?
Me
Who can
too.
blame her?
Oh, multiple
I don't get
people
a,
are quivering.
I don't get another check.
Not until your turn.
Okay.
You hear another shot, but it smacks against that rock. Crumbling it pretty good.
Revealing sand within.
Why are they firing single cannons?
No, they're firing multiples, but we can only describe them one at a time.
Right.
Plus, they don't have very many gunners on board, because it's a small pirate ship, so they can load up multiples together, and they kind of have to fire them.
Any other shots, Jake?
They want to take the time to aim their shots a little bit.
And I'm imagining they don't want to shoot us.
Yeah, there is another shot that hits
I'll be back in just a second.
there.
Alright, the trolls. Well, first I'm going to roll for all the flounderers. Dead, 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 dead. Okay. Lots of orc corpses and goblin corpses.
Is the big boss at all, like, phased by these cannon shots?
No. None of them have landed close enough to him to seemingly break him out of his concentration.
Okay.
He seems in the zone. Alright, this troll will swim up to here. His climbing skills are not as good as his swimming skills. Never mind. He manages to pull himself up onto the boat. Jacob. Thank you. Alright, and then this one passes his swim check. Alright, he approaches the boat.
Marvel was said he was
stiff
going to
arm
stiff
him
arm
with
him.
my branch. Is that a weapon skill?
Yes. You have to, if you want to try and smack him, it's like a regular attack.
No, I just want to stick it between him and the boat and keep his arms out of reach.
Yeah, it'll still take a weapon skill check to, like, poke him. Yeah, I'll allow that. Alright, so you roll regular damage because you're going to be able to impale him with it to hold him back. Alright, 8 damage. Toughness of 4. So that's -4 is 25. Alright, he is going to try and worm off the branch, but he fails, so you're managing to hold him in place for the moment. Zaleen, you're up. Fear check.
Oh, it's up to Zaleen again?
Yes. That was the troll's turn.
Oh, Margol delayed.
Yes, that was the troll's turn.
Okay, at this point, 3 more shots come sailing in. The first one, quite disappointingly, lands. The second one lands smack in the middle of these 4 greenskins and kills 3 of them. And the final one, with a mighty burst of fire, lands right on this starfish.
Does it break the boss's concentration?
Oh shit!
Yeah, I got his attention.
It seems like some shrapnel from the cannonball exploding seems to impale itself right in the boss's thigh.
I'm back. What's happening?
There's a cannon barrage.
And he is bleeding really profusely.
Hold on. A cannonball hit him in the thigh.
No,
And
it
he's-
landed next to him.
No, a cannonball landed right in front of him and shattered, and
Right.
so the shrapnel hit him in the thigh.
I was gonna say something's wrong about this guy if he tanked a cannonball.
More
He go.
tanked a cannonball. Let's not forget that.
He goes down pretty hard onto his side, and the trolls do seem to. Their eyes are definitely growing dimmer by the second. Zaleen.
I did my willpower.
Oh, you're still afraid. Okay, Tordain.
I will draw my. How to do this? How much of an action would it take me to pull out a fish out of the barrel?
Probably. You have to get it open first, and Margol sealed it pretty good. It'd probably take a full action to get that
Okay, never
all that
mind then.
business done. Margot's a little too good at his job.
Yeah. I guess I'll draw my cutlass and swing.
Okay, you are at -10 weapon skill because the odor is horrendous.
Nope.
Nope, smells too bad. Margot, you're up.
I
You've
want
got a
to try to make
troll.
a maneuver check, push the troll back. In the way.
Okay, roll a opposed strength check.
Maneuver's just weapon skill, I thought.
It's not gonna matter as much in the water. You need force to move him. No, his bulk does not seem to shift. He's pinned pretty well between the rock and the ship.
Can I try that again with another action, or do I need to do something different?
No, you need to do something else.
Alright, I'll just bash it in the face with my stick, because nothing else is working.
Your stick's embedded in his chest. If you want to bash him with it, you need to yank it out, but that would also allow him to move freely.
I will roar to intimidate.
Good luck with that.
I'm not hopeful of how well this goes.
Oh no, he does not care. In fact, your roar of trying to intimidate him just kind of alerts him to your existence, and he seems to snap back into being at least moderately aware of what's going on. Alyssa, you're up. Take a fear check. You're not afraid! There is a troll on the deck.
I mean,
But he's-
you're afraid, but you aren't affected by fear.
Fair enough.
How many options do I have here?
Well, you could either try and get you and Alyssa off the boat, you could try and get yourself off the boat, you could try and kill the troll, you could try and kill the other troll, or you could do something else. I would avoid the beach, as the beach is
Sink the
being...
boat.
I would avoid the beach as it's being plowed into pretty hard.
I would avoid the beach as there is water between myself and the beach.
There's water between you and most places that don't have trolls.
I mean, I got from the boat to the ship.
I mean, you could try a death-defying leap onto one of the rocks. It might hurt a bit if you land, but if you stick to landing, you'd be
Have you seen
somewhere
my
else.
agility? It's like, I mean, it's terrible. Look at my initiative. You haven't passed your test yet, have you, Cole?
No.
Celine is apparently Chilean.
Yes.
I'm going to divert my energies into trying to instill some virtue and vigor into Celine in order to assist with her next check.
Alright, what do you say?
Really hoping I've actually got the skill I think I do. I should have it. Looks like I do.
I'm sorry, what happened?
I'm attempting to verbally punch Celine in the face so she snaps out of being afraid on her next check.
Oh, okay. What do you say?
I'm trying to string together a pep talk, so give me a second.
Jacob, I'll let you determine the potential buff.
Sure.
The fuck do I spell
It's okay. We don't judge on spelling here.
I mean, we judge a little bit, but it won't.
We don't grade on spelling.
It won't affect your roll.
looks right, it'll do.
Just tell us it's the British way to spell it. We won't know enough to try and correct you.
That's true. You spell truck lorry. I still don't understand that one.
A truck is a very specific thing to us.
Yeah, a truck.
Remember, we don't have pickup trucks for starters.
I'm so jealous.
Like I've never seen one on a British road.
I would love to live in a place where people don't have pickup trucks.
That actually sounds pretty phenomenal.
We have tiny roads though, so you know.
That actually also sounds pretty nice to me. Not giant, like, parking lots that tell you to go in one direction. Across the entire goddamn map. Zelene, on your willpower check on your turn, give yourself a 20% bonus.
But for right now, it's troll time / cannon time.
Alright, trolls up first.
Alright, let's see if they're smart enough.
There are a lot of loud noises.
And it's really bright over there.
Let's see, the one on the boat...
And
the one on the boat...
I'm guessing.
The one on the boat loses focus. He kind of slouch. You notice he starts to slouch noticeably, and he sort of dimly just sort of stares at the ground with drool coming out of his mouth. The one on the water is not having this problem, and he reaches and grabs for the branch sticking out of his chest, but first he's going to regenerate. So he regenerates a little bit of health. Margal, roll a strength check. Ooh, nice! You managed to resist the troll's overwhelming strength, even though he's in the water. His natural, which probably would, if you were also in the water, would be very bad, but thankfully you're in a boat. So you managed to ground yourself, and with the help of leaning against the larger ship for support, you managed to keep your stick in, not only impaled in him, but keep him out of reach so that his flailing arms can't quite reach the boat to knock it over.
Okay, Zelene, you notice, while you're trying to gather your courage, you notice peeking out from behind the rock, a rowboat's coming in.
I can't say anything. I'm frozen with fear.
I'm assuming I'm too busy fighting the troll.
That was probably a safe assumption, yes.
Whose turn is it?
Give us just a sec.
Okay.
It will be your turn, though.
Nope. Oh, wrong test. Ha ha.
Ha!
Why did I do outdoor survival? I think I was going for perception.
Hey, the cavalry has arrived. It's one small ogre.
Nope, even worse.
You did get a +20. Oh no. Never mind. That's counting it.
I already put it in.
All right. And a shot cracks out. All right.
Scattered someone.
And the orc boss's other leg is smacked with a bullet as the cannon volleys cease.
Yeah. The bullet impacts his leg and kind of just quite frankly explodes a part of it out. And the big boss reaches slowly and shakingly up for the thing in his neck and tears it off whatever strange material necklace was holding it on. But as he tries to get up and exert his will over it, he sort of pauses, and then with a very slow exhale, he falls back onto his back, and the strange material rolls out into the sand, and he stops moving.
All right, Zelene, it's your turn.
I failed my fear test.
Tordain!
I aim and swing at this troll. Nope.
Margal!
I will attempt to push the troll back again.
Okay.
That was strength.
Yes. 2 success against... Alright, you succeed. You give a hard push, and it forces him out from his current position out behind this series of rocks, and your limb rips free. Roll roll a... What?
What do I roll?
Roll just quick damage. Because to do it, you have to basically force the branch to impale him further to shove him back.
And then rip it out.
12, it's not bad. 8. Minus 4 is 4, so... Alright. What are you going to do with your other half action?
There's one for you, guard, and I will try to sail up the boat. To the big deck.
Oh, okay. Roll a skill sheer surface. You don't get quite as big of a bonus as everyone else, but...
Alright, what bonus do I get then?
I'll give you 20. Your weight isn't exactly as well suited to wood with a lot of holes that rot into it. Alright, you pull yourself up. And you see a troll standing there drooling. Alyssa, you're up.
I'm gonna take a step in front of Zelene and assume a defensive stance.
Okay. The trolls. The one on the deck's not focused, and the one in the water... no, he does focus. Who's he gonna... Where would he go, though?
He was focused on me earlier.
Which kind of points him at me now.
Hold on, I'll randomize where he goes. I'm not 100% sure where it would go. So 1, 2, there's 4 targets. He rolled it. Okay, yep, so he comes launching at the boat. Foul, roll a weapon skill check. Like a parry check.
Huh?
Yeah. Roll a parry check. Alright, as this troll, one of his huge lumbering arms comes swinging around, and you just managed to, like, throw your sword in such a way that you can feel it cut down to the bone on this guy, and it hits you hard enough that you're thrown back in the boat, hard against the barrel behind you, but the troll is repelled and sort of sinks down into the water a bit. It is now our dear captain's turn.
It's more than just the captain's turn. Burkhart rows the boat a little bit more forward. And Ryan, it's also Garg and Errol's turn.
Okay, Garg pulls out his rather horrific set of weaponry. It seems almost undecided about exactly which one he should use in this occasion, but finally settles on one. And he swings for the ogre. He hits it.
The troll?
Yeah, the troll, sorry. And he does... Alright, he leans forward with what would probably count as a halberd for a man, but for him almost seems to be more of an extremely elaborate fish hook. And he impales it into the back of the troll and gives a hard wrench, and the troll is pulled away from your boat and almost slams against theirs.
Thanks, Garg.
Well, these people have way too large of things for me to click on. There we go. And it takes a pretty considerable amount of damage.
Burkhart falls overboard.
Who is he again?
He's one of the minor crew members. He
Oh,
helps
okay.
with loading cannons, and he also swabs the deck.
9, 6, it's 15, 17, minus 4 is
Is
13.
my sword still in the troll's arm?
No, it didn't get embedded, it just
Okay.
cut.
I was like, am I unarmed right now? Because that would be awkward.
Errol barely manages to keep his footing. Garg's too solidly planted and involved here. And the captain has no problems whatsoever.
Alright, speaking of the captain, do you want to go ahead and roll hers?
Yeah, she pulls out her saber. You notice she seems to draw it with lightning speed as one of her pistols disappears into her coat.
That's 4.
She manages to cut into it, but much to her dismay, she seems to, her weapon seemed to almost bounce off the rubbery flesh. She does get one kind of deep cut in, though.
4 and 2.
And she grimaces in annoyance. Zelene.
It's okay, just fail your fear check again. You need to, like, distill yourself a poison or potion that makes you immune to fear. Alright! You gather your courage!
Zelene's chances that she passes.
You finally come back to it and stop dwelling on the horrible fate of those who probably were aboard this ship before. And you see that one of the trolls is basically, like, impaled and being dragged against Margle's small boat. And there's another troll on your ship who doesn't really seem to be focused... Not Margle, Garg. And there's another troll on your boat who you had not noticed until now, but he does not seem particularly interested in anything.
Am I able to do anything?
Yeah, you can move normally.
Can I do what I was going to do before?
Leap down and impale a troll?
Yeah.
Okay, don't miss and hit Garg.
Don't do it.
Don't drown.
for it.
Are you going weapon skill or agility?
Probably agility.
You notice that the number of wounds that's been done to this troll, its regeneration is moving quickly but struggling to keep up.
Alright. I gotta do something foul.
Margot's the other one. They got that one.
The other one isn't a problem right now.
Neither is that one, to be honest. Oh, Lord.
You trip over the railing and fall headfirst into the shallow water.
Splash. Tornado, you're up.
Okay.
Where in the water is Zelene?
There's a troll between you and her.
Yeah, I kind of guessed. What's the rule for leaping?
If you leave that boat, there's nothing keeping it there.
Oh, right, yeah, it's no longer tied. Can I ready my bow and fire?
Sure. You can't aim it.
Yeah.
I will shoot. It's pinned, so I get a bonus, right?
Well, yes, but it's also being attacked, so no.
Oh, so it'll just be a flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be flat.
Sure.
Alright. Your bow sings out, and an arrow flies sure and true to impact it in its left arm, missing just a little bit from its arm and seeming to hit it in probably one of its multitude of hearts, but you, quite frankly, don't know anything about trolls' anatomy. That being said, for whatever reason, it seems that the arrow is finally what taxes the beast's regeneration ability, and it seems to all slowly seem to slow down. And its eyes sort of roll up into its head, and it sort of falls silent. And you notice that it appears to be dead, but it's definitely still regenerating, so you probably should make a mental note to burn it. Margot, you're up.
I want to make a check for trolls. That's the common knowledge, right?
Yes. I can, depending on what you roll, I can tell you something about them. Yeah, nothing. As far as you know, you think of them, you think this is a really ugly ogre.
Does that take a half action?
No, it's free.
Alright. I want to make a carpentry check.
Okay.
I'm gonna smash the floor.
Yeah,
Whatever
this boat looks full.
This particular troll does not seem too interested in your existence, or anyone's existence for that matter. You can still attack him if you'd like, but he seems kind of placated.
I will consider my less than half health and delay my last action.
Alright, Alyssa.
I will take a step. I will look behind me and wonder where the hell's Zelene gone to.
You just heard her cry as she fell over the edge.
It's like in the Pirates of the Caribbean films.
Yeah, Zelene has vanished under a frothing water as the troll was flailing until it was very recently shot.
I will then walk over, sort of sidestep over to where Margot is, and delay.
Okay. This troll... Nope, he's good.
He's pretty happy.
This troll is dead. He does have the capacity to regenerate himself back to life if you're not careful, so you might want to make sure that he stays dead. But combat is effectively over.
The captain really gives you a kind of dirty look as she pulls you back onto the lifeboat, Zelene. Or the canoe. Rowboat.
Lifeboat.
Right. I will look up at her and say, "Morning, Captain."
Does Dark want their troll?
She'll shrug and say, "I hope you found some supplies."
I did.
Morgul found food.
Garg will look to the captain questioningly and say, What about other troll, boss? Take it in?
Oh, fuck.
The captain looks up at Garg and says, normally sorry, I have to apologize for my female voice acting tonight. I've been sick and I just can't do it.
No, what I'm really curious about, is there a soccer rally going on outside your house or something?
Oh no, wait, what?
There's
The
weird
music
background.
that's playing is going in through the speaker.
Oh,
the
okay.
microphone.
Gotcha.
Is that better?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I just heard chanting whenever you would be talking.
Oh no, I thought it would be appropriate for the ship to arrive to the sound of Hailstorm.
Oh, gotcha. Right. I don't play music on mine because copyright. Anyway.
The captain looks at Garg and says, normally I would consider it, but given what we found yesterday, I think time might be of the essence.
He nods and waves at the two of you and he says, "Leave it! It'll stumble off somewhere eventually."
Alright. Margot will make the treacherous climb back down.
Ordain will try and steady the ship for Margol.
You've got
Margot.
plenty of time. I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah,
about
you can take it easy.
But I will
Alright,
tell
I
the
take it easy.
captain about all the supplies I saw at the center of the island on the one fresh water source. And I will say we also need fresh water on the ship.
She nods and says, how long do you think it would take to fetch that?
I don't know how long you think it would take.
Oh, not that long.
Well, now
gonna-
that you have
Probably gonna need another rowboat. It's gonna probably take 2 trips to get it all.
Now that you've dealt a blow to the orc band that is marauding on the island, perhaps an hour, maybe hour and a half.
She says, we can spare that long. And then snaps, rowed ashore, looking back at Burkhart and also giving him a very dirty look.
I will row our rowboat back to shore because it's not full.
Yeah, the tide's starting to come in pretty fully. You're noticing that even the rocks that were giving you trouble at midday yesterday aren't too bad right now.
I'm gonna look for the war boss's axe because it looked kind of nice.
When you approach his corpse, he doesn't seem to have had it on him.
Oh, okay.
Get the opal, or show the captain the opal.
Oh, I look for the opal, for the glowy thing.
Roll a search check. As you search the sand around his mauled corpse.
Nope. I will inform the captain that the boss, the orc boss, used some sort of artifact
There you go.
to control the trolls.
Celine, you look around the sand and dig around for a bit around him, trying to avoid the patches of blood and guts that are spread all over the place. And finally, you think you sight it, but as you reach out to grab it and you pull your hand back in, all that's in your hand is white sand.
So it fell apart.
I don't know, you tell me.
It
No,
did
you-
seem rather fragmentary when he was using it.
The captain does notice this and says heavily, this is worse than that time we went to Inn.
He had something that was commanding the trolls, and I was searching for it.
I give a small description of the crystal I saw.
She shrugs and says, it's nothing I understand. Let us hurry and fetch these supplies.
Okay.
Perhaps while we are going inland to get them, you should get another rowboat out here so we don't have to make multiple trips. Save us time.
How many more rowboats does the ship have, Ryan?
Probably like 1.
Yeah, she nods over to Burkhart, who resignedly starts throwing away.
And I will lead her inland to where we saw the orc camp.
Alright, y'all get through the jungle without much problem. It seems whatever orcs and goblins may be left on this island seem to be very understandably avoiding your very large party now. They don't seem to either they're all dead or they don't want to fight you guys.
There's not enough to challenge 2 ogres and change.
Yeah, and if there are already forest goblins left, they also do not seem interested in a fight. And you make it to the center of the island without much problem. When you arrive at the center... excuse me. Let me copy all you guys. You know what, I'll just move you over there and we'll just describe it, it's fine. You arrive to the center of the island, and Zelene and Alyssa, you're the only other 2 that have actually been here before. You see most of the supplies are undisturbed. Of course, there's the occasional cask, and it looks like any cask that you pass by that's been shattered open, almost all of them had some form of food or alcoholic content. But there are numerous things that are unbroken. However, as you approach the water source, Zelene and Alyssa, you can't help but notice that there were 2 large, what looked like rocks that had been there when you had come here originally, and they're gone. But you do notice that the water seems horribly polluted.
Ugh. I will tell the captain, well, we best not be drinking or taking that water on board. I guess those trolls polluted it.
She, scrunches her nose a little bit.
That being said, you recover the remainder of the supplies without any great concerns. Jacob, you can handle the Margol comment.
Do we find the axe and shit?
Roll a search check. The axe is hidden away somewhere. I don't know if you'll be able to find it.
Nope.
You definitely don't.
Anyone want to help me with this?
How big was
Nope.
Axe?
It was a little small for the orc. It was clearly designed for a man's hands.
Margol doesn't care.
I just
Nope.
figured having more, better weapons for the manifest probably helps us all.
There's no sign of the mysterious axe.
Alright.
I will take a cursory glance.
Oh my god.
I don't get to have nice things.
You mean that axe?
Margol, as you're walking around the camp, you sort of completely on accident stumble into a tree that must have been hollow enough for your sheer bulk to just crack it and not fall over. And as it falls, in a hollow that was actually fairly well hidden as far as orcs go, is the axe embedded in the trunk. And you just literally found it completely on accident with no effort or attempt whatsoever. In fact, if it weren't for the fact that it was shiny, it was so nonchalant for you to accidentally find it, you probably wouldn't have commented on it.
I walk over and take the axe, I guess.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Marco does.
Margol's like, ooh, toothpick. Alright, Margol, you get a better quality axe, not best, but whatever the tier rating
Good.
this dude is. Yeah, good quality axe. Alright, Cold, add the following things to your manifest as they are brought back to the ship and counted.
Okay, let me a sec.
Actually, I'll tell you at the end of the session. Don't worry about it right now.
Okay.
Alright, and you all make it back to the ship without any further great incident.
Shortly after you reach the ship, but before the manifest is counted, but after the captain has glanced enough eye over the new materials to sort of make some estimates, the captain calls a full ship meeting to the top deck.
Well, I'm going to get y'all's current models. That way you have updated health.
Once everyone has assembled, she says, "It's one of those moments where I believe we need to make a vote. Catalina, or Laszlo, please tell us what you saw." Laszlo looks up at everyone because he is not very tall. And says, as that odd fog was rolling in that stopped us from making port, on the side of this island, I noticed what could have only been one of them elf sloops. It was moving swift as the wind, but in a very clear direction towards the southeast. No, southwest, sorry. Towards the southwest. And I think it must have been going to that little island on Catalina's chart. She and I worked it out. And we think it may be a small enough crew that we can take them.
What do you mean by elf sloops?
He says it was a small but pretty little thing. Looked all fancy and ceremonial. But it can't have crewed too many. Maybe a dozen at most. Looked like it's one of those mysterious errand ships that those elves like to send around the seas sometimes.
Gargle nod and say, "Should easy take. Elves scary on this ocean, but not many."
At this, Captain Helena speaks up, and she says, "Normally, I'm all about completing our mission and being on our way. But I think we all remember the last time we came back to our patron empty-handed, and how miserable the next year was. If there's a chance we could find some artifact like those knife ears like to store every which way, I think it's a chance worth taking. But it's not in the mission we agreed to, and there is some risk whenever you deal with those damn elves. I'm sure you remember the last time we were close to one. So I shall put it up to a vote. I, myself, am voting yay. She looks over to Guard.
He nods in Ascension.
Yay is for attacking elves?
Or at least pursuing them.
Tordain says yay.
Margot will look at Guard and then nod. Margot will say yes.
The sailmaster, Catalina, she speaks up and she says, "Now, I know you're all excited about going after treasure and ancient heirlooms, but I've seen what them elves can do with a sail, and it's nothing like what humans can match. I think it's foolish to chase enough. I vote nay."
Barnabas speaks up at this point, wiping grease off on his apron. He says, "I agree. We need supplies. We've barely got enough food to make it back to the port we need to get to, much less pursue after elves of all things. If they take us on a wild goose chase and get us lost in that accursed mystical fog, we could be lost for weeks. We could starve out." Nay.
Rascon sort of brushes his long facial scruff and idly pulls some tangles out as he says, "I but on the other hand, them elves don't have cannons now, do they? I think we can take them." Take them easier than the girls at port, anyway.
Zaleen will look around. I don't know what she knows of elves, to be honest. Probably nothing.
Your encounters with them have been pretty fleeting and distant. You know enough to know that, based on your history, the people you worked with were fairly afraid of them, and did not like dealing with them because they were very crafty and almost otherworldly. Your personal encounters with them are like maybe in 1 or 2, and were fleeting at best. But your father was not overtly fond of them.
I will say, sorry, Captain, I have to say, nay. I think we would have better chances getting supplies elsewhere. I'll be outvoted, but I will at least have said my piece.
Sorry, did y'all hear what I just said?
No.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't pressing my button. Klaus nods at what Zeline says and adds in, it's bad luck to be messing with elves. We should know that better than anybody.
Everyone but Alyssa has a shiver down their spine.
Rashid says something in a language that most of you don't understand. But then he says, I vote yes.
What's the total vote at right now?
Overwhelmingly, yes.
Not overwhelmingly. Right now it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4 no's, and Gustav.
Gustav comes off.
Burkhart and Errol still have to vote.
Yeah,
as does Alyssa.
Gustav steps forward and says, "You can't take elves prisoner. They tend to come after those who prey on their kind. Or worse yet, we might attract the attention of the worse ones. I vote nay. They're not good sport." Izzy, feel free to chime in at any time.
Burkhart looks up and says, "It'd be nice to have a mission actually succeed. I'd like to get paid, and the pocket change we're gonna get for an unsuccessful mission. Hell, that won't even buy one whore."
7-5.
So the only ones that haven't voted yet are Errol and Alyssa.
I thought Laszlo also. Yeah.
And Laszlo.
Errol, who's kind of a small, nervous individual, comes out pretty quickly as against. While he's kind of a bigger muscle guy, and he doesn't mind going across boards to fight, he seems to find the idea of elves to be a little too mystical for his stomach, and he really didn't like the magic fog that rolled in with him, so he goes as a no. Izzy, time's up. Izzy there?
Izzy.
What's the count?
It's
so far 7 for
6 against.
6 against, and you and Laszlo are all that's left. And Laszlo doesn't seem to be hurrying to speak up.
I can outweigh them if I need to.
Well, too bad. You get to go now.
Yep, go.
Sigh. A ship of 12 people won't carry enough supplies for this. Say no.
Laszlo looks up with a sparkle in his eyes as everyone knew that he was hoping for a combo he could break. And Laszlo says, well, I, for one, am inclined to agree with Burkhardt. I don't think it would go over well, especially for our reputation, if we don't come back with something. And reputation is to people of in our line of work more precious than most golds. The captain takes a final tally, and with 8 for and 7 against, the captain gives the orders, and Sailmaster Catalina begins barking out rapid-fire directions to Klaus, Burkhardt. Tordain, you're actually given a few directions with regard to raising the anchor and adjusting the rigging before you're set to your normal post on the crow's nest.
Oh yeah, I go about it.
Zaline, you're sent down with whatever help is extra on hand to tally and inventory the new goods in the manifest.
Can I get the guy at the bottom, or the surgeon, to help me out?
Oh.
Gustav, yeah, he'll look at all of you once you start sailing.
Okay.
And you set sail.
Was everyone given a job as the boat took off?
I wasn't. But I'm working
Markle.
cannons.
Markle, Rascon could use your help. They definitely expended a bunch of their shot and would like to get it back in order very quickly in case something comes up on the high seas. Alyssa, what have you been doing?
I don't remember.
Well, you get a new job.
You're sent down to help to assist Celine.
I think I was like doing whatever came up. For sure.
Yeah, you're sent to assist Celine.
I think she's a swabby technically, or like she's a very new member of the crew, so
I could use your help anyway.
You're ordered to assist Celine.
Hooray!
Would anyone else like to do or say anything else before the end of session?
So Ben, you hand me the axe.
I will let you hold on to my axe for a while.
Yeah. we did some bargaining on the row over.
That's always good.
So it's just
He
a
tried to
good
buy an
quality
axe
axe.
from a tradesman for 4 shillings.
No, for silver.
Yeah, shillings.
Yeah,
Alright,
shillings
yeah.
are silver.
I ended up getting it from him for 6, so you know.
No.
Oh, and I promised to buy you dinner.
No, you get to hold on to it. You're giving me food.
Anyone got anything else?
Margot will compliment Split Tongue on his firing of the cannons. Or Fork Tongue.
Fork Tongue will look up and say, it was quite a lovely time in here. You should have been here.
Was busy fighting troll.
Yes, but we made those cannons go hard. Did you see the one that got the bastard in the knee?
No boat was in way. Saw one got 4 orc goblins. Good shot.
He gives a little mocking salute.
Alright, so that's it for today. I'll go ahead and tell you the updates to the manifest, Cold.
And how much experience do they get?
Oh, right. Did I give y'all experience last time?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so take, I'll give y'all 200 experience this time.
Thank you. Can I suggest that 200 is probably the minimum we're going to need for playing well?
That depends on what you're going to be doing, so noted, but maybe not.
I understand that.
Noted and dismissed.
I understand that, but we could be stuck for a while on tier 2.
That's true.
If we don't
I'm
make
perfectly okay with tier
Well,
2 last.
Like I said, we'll play by ear. Alright, good job. You survived. Alright, Cold, you ready?
Yes.
Alright, you acquired the following in addition to what I already told you from last time. So you got 3 barrels of fresh water.
Okay.
4 common quality shields.
Okay.
2 common quality axes.
Okay.
5 casks of what equates to rations.
Okay.
2 common quality spears.
Okay.
5 water skins.
Alright.
And a chest that was very difficult to open, but once opened revealed a miraculously unbroken, kind of odd sculpture inside of some sort of humanid animal hybrid. Nobody, you and no one else on the ship has an earthly idea of what it's supposed to be. Like, is it a work of art? Is it a commission? Is it a museum? Is it a relic? None of you have a clue. It's very mysterious.
What's the animal look like?
It has the upper body of a man and the lower body of a like some kind of jungle cat with spots, but it also has like large wings, like bird wings with notated feathers coming out. But it's made of some kind of like fine stone, not like a gem, but like a really nice stone, something similar to marble. It appears extremely well made.
Okay.
The captain also requests a bullet from you.
I will give her a bullet.
You better, that's the captain speaking. Alright, anyone got anything else?
I will go up to Garg and ask him about the axe and if that's part of loot or if I just get to keep it.
Garg's response to you, he does, because you're an ogre, you understand what he's trying to say, in that he gives you a very heavy tone of, what he says is everything we loot goes back to the ship, but there's a very heavily implied tone in the way he words it that everything that the ship doesn't necessarily knows made it back to the ship doesn't belong to the ship.
Okay, I will nod.
Alright, anything else? Going once, Going twice. Alright, good session, everyone.